Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. The news of the day for LSU football today was the announcement of the contract extension for offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock. Of course, Mike Denbrock came over a couple years ago with Brian Kelly. When Brian Kelly took the job, Denbrock came over from Cincinnati and has done a marvelous job coordinating this LSU offense through 2 seasons. Statistically speaking, LSU's been fantastic. Of course, this year, you know that. They're the best in the country in scoring offense and total offense and third down offense. They're 8th in the country in rushing. They're 4th in the country in passing. They're 11th in the country in red zone touchdown percentage. You know this offense has been brilliant. It's been creative. It's been balanced. It's been dynamic. It's been explosive. It's been fantastic. And you're obviously well aware of that. The Heisman Trophy winner is going to come from this offense, and that's a big part of this equation as well. But LSU was pretty good on offense last year as well. 24th in the country in scoring offense, 28th in the country in total offense, 40th in rushing, 32nd in passing. So top 40 in all those statistics. LSU was 9th in the country on third downs last year, 14th in the country, so top 15 in red zone touchdown percentage. And that was with 2 true freshman tackles playing. That was a true freshman tight end taking the lion's share of the snaps. That was with a new quarterback and a new system under a new head coach. So the improvement's been phenomenal, and it's been great to watch. And Mike Denbrock did a good job at Cincinnati with Desmond Ridder at quarterback as well. So there's going to be many here in Baton Rouge who will suggest, Denbrock's been so great, thrilled to have him back, and I think he's going to do a great job next year. There'll probably be a lot of people from outside of Baton Rouge that will say, hey, had the Heisman Trophy winner, had 2 first-round picks at wide receiver, including a guy that might win the Blitnikoff, but he's at least a finalist. I mean, that's a pretty good gig, and we'll see if they can replicate anything close to that. And to that production, I don't think either one of those 2 lines of thinking are completely unfair. I think that it's probably somewhere right in the middle. I think Mike Denbrock is a really, really good coordinator. I think for me personally, as a guy who's not up there grinding tape and just all about the X's and O's all the time, I have seen some of the real awesome creativity that Mike Denbrock has put in. That little play that they came up with in the middle of the season last year that involved the read option, then the rollout either way by Jaden Daniels where he can dump it to the tight end or keep it. That's not a play that I've seen a lot of teams run a lot. And it's also a play that LSU has now run for a year and a half, and it's successful just about every time because of the creativity, the athletes that LSU has in space, and just how efficient they are and consistent they are with running it. You've got a great sugar man that's making that happen, but I think that Denbrock deserves a lot of credit for making that work. And then another thing that I want to credit Mike Denbrock with, because he's been very vocal in talking about this, was LSU, as I ran through the numbers there, had a good offense last year. Top 10 in the country on third downs, top 40 in rushing offense, top 25 in total offense and scoring offense. Like, they were good on offense last year. But as he said, they did an internal review of what they were doing, realizing that you got Jaden Daniels back, you've got Malik Neighbors back, Brian Thomas back, Kyron Lacey back, Mason Taylor back, Will Campbell back, Charles Turner back. Like, you've got a lot of your real key pieces coming back to this offense. So how do we get better? And the thing that he identified pretty quickly was that LSU last year was exceptional at catching the football with its back to the goalpost. A lot of stop routes, a lot of throws around the line of scrimmage, a lot of quick passes. But we've got explosive playmakers. Let's try to get these guys the ball on the move. And that's 2 parts. Well, it's actually a lot of parts, but 2 key parts from last year. 1, you got to call those plays more often. And 2, you've got to have a quarterback execute them. And they've been the best in the country at that this year. So not only do they improve on that and add that to the arsenal, no one's as good as them. You've got some NFL draft guys coming out talking about looking over Jaden Daniels' film from this year, and you got like Matt Miller saying like watching Jaden Daniels throw the deep ball has been unbelievable this year. And you've seen all the advanced analytics from Pro Football Focus and those that give objective grades with numbers. And Jaden Daniels is better than anybody in the country at getting the ball down the football field. And we'll learn in time how much of that is Mike Denbrock or maybe Joe Brady, or is it Jaden Daniels or Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors? The truth of the matter is you've got to have it all. A great coordinator with crappy players isn't going to do very well. And a bunch of great players with a crappy coordinator are not going to do very well. You've got to have a symphony working on the offense and in football on both sides of the ball to make things work. So I'm not going to hold it against Mike Denbrock that his quarterback is the best in the country. I'll credit him with that and understand that if the production is not exactly the same next year, there's probably a pretty good reason for that. I think it's great for Garrett Nussmeier, who's now worked with Mike Denbrock for 2 years, that's the guy that he will likely be working with next year. I say likely because in the transfer portal era, Garrett Nussmeier could move on, or a new quarterback could come in, or Mike Denbrock could move on. You say, wait a second, they just announced his extension. What are you talking about? Well, I did go back and look this up. Joe Brady did announce an extension. Well, an extension was reported between Joe Brady and LSU on January 11th of 2020. 5 days later, on the 16th, Joe Brady took the job with the Panthers. So in this line of work, in this profession, and the way this whole thing works this time of year, my assumption is that Mike Denbrock will be back coordinating an offense that Garrett Nussmeier is in charge of. But you never know. In any event, this is a really, really good thing for LSU, in my opinion. I think Mike Denbrock has done an awesome job. I think he's deserved this extension, and I think it's a good thing for continuity for LSU to have him moving forward in a post-Jaden Daniels, post-Brian Thomas, post-Malik Neighbors world. Things will look different next year, and that'll be Mike Denbrock's task. He's going to have to work with a quarterback that has a different skill set. He's not going to have a quarterback next year that has all the skills of Jaden Daniels, whether it's Garrett Nussmeier or somebody else. Because Jaden Daniels this year has been better than everybody else. He's explosive in the run game. He's got electric speed and game-breaking ability. He's been very, very decisive and accurate. He's hit the deep balls when asked of him. Like, he's almost been perfect. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been about as good as you can be. And it would shock me next year if LSU's quarterback was that productive. But it's a really good thing for LSU to have him in this spot for the guys on the roster. And I'll just be pretty blunt. Bryce Underwood's announcing his commitment coming up here in a month. And I think it's probably a pretty good thing that LSU's offensive coordinator has signed a 3-year deal. That, to me, seems like a positive when you're dealing with the number one quarterback and number one player in the country who seems to have a lot of interest in you. And he's going to be under the tutelage of this offensive coordinator if this plays out. And nothing's ever guaranteed, like I said. But from every which way that I can slice this, every angle I can look at it, to me, this feels like a huge, huge positive for LSU and for Mike Denbrock. Does he want to be a head coach somewhere? I don't know. I've never asked Mike Denbrock that. I've had 3 conversations with him, all on the pregame show, and they've been pretty in and out. He's incredibly cordial with his time and incredibly nice and forthcoming. He seems like a great dude. Who I'd like to spend some time with, and probably a great guy to have a beer with and maybe go play some golf. I have no idea what his aspirations are in the future. You're talking about a guy that's got more years in the rearview mirror coaching than he does in front of him. And some guys are very happy being the coordinator. Some guys want to go test their mettle as a head coach. I have no idea where Mike Denbrock's head is on that, but it's something that LSU will cross that bridge if and when they get to it. At this point, he's your offensive coordinator, and he's under contract to do so with a 3-year extension. So really, really good stuff from LSU. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.